Hello peoples and welcome in our Let's Roleplay the King Arthur 2, and we're gonna start rolling with this. Alrighty, so quick few words about the game. It's not fully super great yet. It still has a long way with patching to do, because for lots of people the optimization is just crazy and they are like getting only 15 FPS or sometimes 8, and it's like slideshow for those. I was able to get, like, after last 2 patches that were like 2 days ago, something like that, and I'm able to get sometimes 55 FPS and sometimes 30 only in some crazy battles. Well, I'm just gonna leave the rest to, if you like, read this stuff, so just go to Steam forum and then you will find lots about crying about this. People are just really raising their fist to the sky. Why the hell this is just like this? Oh my god, and so on and so on. So yeah, those developers, they still need to do a lot of work for this game to be at some, let's just say, normal level. For now, let's just say it's okay. We can do some kind of let's play through this without any hardcore issues, I hope. And let's just start with this. I'm just gonna check options. Yeah, audio, it's okay. I hope this will be okay. I will check this a bit later. Oh, and yeah, I could just go to main and start doing main, but I want this campaign to be from the beginning, let's just say that. So I want to do Prologue. I want to start from that. I already played Prologue, but I think it should be a good part of this whole roleplay, because the Prologue is really great. It's nicely done and it's really worth. So maybe there will be some people in future that will be watching this, that they like they just didn't play this game or didn't even hear about it. So I'm just gonna jump to a Prologue. I'm just gonna start with that. I did Prologue on normal. I think I can do that now on challenging, but I still think it will be a bit crazy, because there are some crazy things going on. We'll see.
Long before the glorious days of King Arthur, even before his father Uther Pendragon was born, Britannia saw the arrival of the legions. In the name of the Roman emperors, they invaded the south, then set out to conquer the whole land. At the northernmost point of their conquest, where they met the savage Picts, they halted and founded a giant fort of Iberacum. Iberacum grew and became the capital of the northern provinces. But the Romans who came here never felt at ease. They feared Britannia, the wizards, and the gods in the woods. They knew that something ancient was slumbering beyond Iberacum, up in the north. So the Roman Emperor Hadrian decided to build a wall to protect his land. Legends speak of Hadrian's wits and his mastery in the arcane, but some say he had help from a young wizard called Merlin. The wall was magnificent, and for a long time stone and magic kept out the tribes and everything else that lurked out in the cold. Then times changed. When the fabled 9th Legion disappeared beyond the wall, it was the turn of the tide. The Romans slowly withdrew from Britannia. But 5 noble families decided to stay in Iberacum. They succumbed to decadence and fought over the remnants of their former glory, until a young monarch in the south, a Briton called Arthur, changed everything. The flames of magic flared up again, and a new age of wonders began. The noble families realized that it was the time they had been waiting for. While King Arthur was uniting the South, they were busy squabbling over their possible leader. The Sulla family seemed to be the right choice to build a new Iberacum, but not everyone agreed. The family's enemies were merely waiting for the right moment to deal with the Sullas and their heir, the valiant Septimus. The right moment is now. Something terrible has happened in the south, where King Arthur rules the land. Meanwhile, Iberacum is under threat from the north. The wall cannot hold back the Picts much longer. When Septimus left his family, his bride and his friends and rode off to battle, he was betrayed by his own kind. They abandoned him and his warriors in the heat of the battle, and he found himself alone, surrounded by savages. Still, he fought valiantly, until a fateful blow sent him sprawling to the ground. The Picts left him there, on the other side of the wall, in the firm belief that he was dead, and they were almost right. Septimus Sulla lay among the fallen for a very long time, and then, suddenly, he opened his eyes. When you open your eyes, you can't decide whether you're awake or in some kind of dream. You stand upon a soaring mountaintop, looking down on a thick layer of clouds beneath your feet. It is almost as if you were in the abode of the gods. Could it be that? You ponder. But your thoughts are interrupted by an ethereal yet powerful voice.
Who are you, lost soul? And why have you crossed into the land of savages?
Alright, so we got some things to choose. Those are who I'm gonna be as a character. So it could be like a warrior, some kind of champion, some melee spets class, Jupiter, whatever. It was something with casting, and warlord is like leadership. On my first playthrough I was as a champion, so I was a melee class spec, so I'm gonna choose a warlord this time for command and leadership. I'm gonna stick to that. So I'm Septimus Sulla, Roman warlord, and I need to not explain myself to anyone.
Your reply merely echoes in the celestial void at first, but then the apparition of an elderly figure manifests itself before you. He addresses you with a faint smile and an air of absolute authority.
Ah, a genuine leader with pride and spirit. Very promising. But let's see what else we can learn about you.
As he speaks, you realize that you know him. You have seen his face on marble statues 100 times before. This is the great Emperor Hadrian himself, who died centuries ago. You begin to struggle with this impossible thought, but your pondering is cut short when you are beset by a series of visions. Still, images form and melt away, one after another. You soon realize that these are scenes from your own past, but they are all hazy and lack details. Finally, the visions stop, and you are left staring at one of your past battles.
A true warlord indeed, who has no qualms with claiming the spoils of war.
Yeah, and those are the choices. which path you would like to follow, and you can go like the tyrant path or the noble path, like protection of civilians and just that kind of nobleman way. And I think I'm gonna stick to that because in my point of view the true Romans were like that. They were to protect their own people and their own land. So it's like the amulet belonged to my murdered brother, so I took it back as I liberated the town from barbarians invaders.
Yes, indeed. Your skills have brought you many victories, and yet here you are. Tell me, how is it that the barbarians defeated the mighty Septimus Sulla? Have the Romans become so weak, or was it your strategy which was flawed?
Yeah, and yes, those are choices, and if you are careful following the intro, then you know that we were betrayed by Caracas, and I'm just gonna choose that there was no mistake. I was betrayed by Caracas. All my soldiers are dead because of them.
It seems the apparition intends to discuss the reasons for your defeat further, but the thought of the betrayal fills you with sudden rage. Enough, you say. I have answered your questions. Now you answer mine. Who are you, and what is this place?
Indeed, you have the right to know. I was once known as Emperor Hadrian, and you are in my prison. As you know, I mastered the arcane arts in my life, and created many arcane objects for the glory of Rome. My greatest creation was the wall, and yet it is not the reason I'm here. Unbeknownst to me, when I first bound magic to an object of personal vanity, I also bound my eternal soul to it. Thus I became part of my golden wreath, unable to let it go, even after death. Centuries passed, and now only a fragment of the wreath remains, but that is enough to keep me here.
I'm gonna ask him, how did I get here?
I sensed your presence when the battle began to rage, but I could not reach you until the moment you were mortally wounded. At the moment your blood touched the fragment, our souls were linked to each other. But your questions will have to wait. I must first show you something. Much has happened since you marched north, and there are many things that you must know. While you were fighting savages, an enemy struck at your home. An enemy you are not aware of.
The Emperor falls silent and lets you watch another stream of images which depict a bloody assault on your home. You can only look on in horror as everything you hold dear is ruthlessly destroyed.
Your family, your bride, even your lands, all gone. You have lost much, but you may yet save some of what you have. In this place, our powers combined can alter the very fabric of reality, and thus we can change what is about to happen. But your life is fading away, and we cannot risk you dying. We can only make one change, so you must choose.
Yeah, those are another two options, and let me quick see. Yeah, I'm gonna save the village, but and I cannot allow innocent people to die.
Very good. You have now faced the past and the present. But you have not yet faced the future, and you must see it to know what you must do. All your suffering, all the devastation you've seen, is just a prelude to something much worse. I thought it was inevitable, until your arrival provided us with a chance. But it all hinges on you now. This is what will happen if you die. This is what will be if you don't walk the path that destiny has chosen for you. Our people have grown decadent and weak. Divided and leaderless, they cannot withstand what is to come. The members of your murdered family will have been the lucky ones. There is a reason you found me, Septimus, and together we shall face a monumental task. With the power of my wreath, you shall return from the dead and chisel the world around you until it has a future again. You must rebuild the legions and unite the squabbling families. You must restore the glory of Rome so it can stand firm against the tide of the coming darkness. While the rest of the world burns, a new Rome shall stand. But first, you must reclaim what you have lost. You shall return home, bury your dead, rebuild, and gather your strength. Your people and your soldiers await you. There is much to be done before the name Septimus Sulla is known by all.
On your way home, you meet an army of Roman soldiers headed towards the heart of the Sulla estate. The leaders are retired Sulla veterans, whom your father charged with taking some of the family treasures to safety when the rebellion started. After the Senate proved too slow to respond to the crisis, they took the initiative and used the funds to raise troops. They are overjoyed to see you alive and insist that you lead them against the rebels personally.
So yeah, those are some kind of tutorials that are starting. I do already know them, so I'm gonna just mostly skip. And yes, one thing that I would like to talk about is that intro that you were just following. It was one of the best intros that I just saw recently in any kind of games. Why? Because simply intros with that kind of narration, following with those pictures, will make your own imagination to build up a world and in your own mind that will be much better than any kind of graphical effect that you will see in games that are coming these days. So no firework shit will do that stuff for you. Your own imagination, your own mind is the best graphic for you. That's why sometimes books and stuff like that will be always better than games or movies. Okay, so let's just go to this tutorial. So we do have some kind of rebellion here that we need to clear, and control over Sulla province, those will be rewards, some kind of artifact and plus 2000 golds. So at this point I'm unable to do anything, I'm just gonna go
Yes, my lord.
And follow and do a battle with them. 1 second, just gonna check why the hell this is so... It should be fine. Okay, some sounds will be just a bit, yeah, high, like that one. but I'm unable to do anything with this. So yeah, we have some kind of rebellions here. Their stats are just crap. Look, like my light infantry melee damage is like 40 and their infantry is like 90, so go figure. And those are some kind of heavy infantry with 32 damage and 209 hit points, and looks our heavy infantry is like twice better than this one. And we do have some kind of spearmans like Triarii, so yeah, we do have some kind of cavalry. And let's go to the battle. I'm gonna make tea after this battle, so loading. I wanna show you this first loading because a lot of people are just like, oh my god, the loading in game is so long, what the hell? And you know what, it's not, at least not here. Okay, I'm gonna pause like here like now and be back soon.